life totally changed completely. Last August, I started not feeling very well, and I found out that I was pregnant for the first time and started getting really sick and became bedridden within a week. The pain every single day was just getting worse, so at this point we're like 2 weeks in and I can't eat. I'm throwing up constantly. I shut down completely, like I couldn't participate in my daily life. I had to call out of work. So I went to the emergency department and they did an MRI and they told me that I had severe colitis.
When she went into the hospital the first time, she was there for a day or two and they sent her home, thinking it was going to resolve. She was back, 2 weeks later in, a much more serious situation.
I went back to the hospital and this time they admitted me. It was on September 10th. It was the day of my best friend's birthday. My main concern at this time was like me and my husband were finally ready to have a child, and I was pregnant and I didn't want to like do anything that was like unsafe for like this baby that we had just conceived. So they did the sigmoidoscopy and I remember them giving me the photos after, and like my colon just looked necrotic. Like the photos are black. Like I can't even believe like that was something that was inside of my body. Like within the same year, like my colon was perfect, looked beautiful, and then now it's like black in these new photos. So a little bit after a week of me being in the hospital, I had a miscarriage, did an ultrasound and was able to confirm that there was no heartbeat anymore. That night, after I had had the miscarriage, I was going to need an emergency surgery. That my CT results were pretty concerning. I was just like, how much like devastation can a 27-year-old go through within a 24-hour period? And I was just like, do whatever you have to do to like put me out of this like misery, like whatever it is. I just don't want to be in pain anymore. Like if you need to do surgery to like fix me, like please just do whatever. I just trusted the doctors and I met Dr. Wurzy, who was my surgeon on my case. I only asked one question. I said, am I gonna have to have a bag? And he said, yes, but it doesn't have to be forever and we can talk about the rest once we get you through this. I learned that my surgery didn't exactly go as planned and it went pretty terribly. Dr. Wurzy called my husband and told him the outcome of my surgery and how critical my condition was. Dr. Wurzy told them, like, the one thing that I have on my side is that I'm young, and that the next 24 hours were going to be critical.
When we weren't sure what was going to happen, I would just come home every night and I would cry and I was like hysterical. I said to God, I had a talk with God and I said, okay, I got to give him the wheel, like the song says. I'm handing you the wheel. If you don't think that she can survive this and live a wonderful life, then take her, because I want her to have a good life, so take her if she's not going to make it. But he had her make it, and she has done just so amazing. I'm just so proud of her.
When I woke up, like the first thing that I wanted to do was FaceTime my mom. And I just remember FaceTiming her and saying like, I'm alive. And that was just like one of the most emotional moments of her, just being able to talk to her and let her know like that I pulled through and like I'm still here. So I had like the fight of my life in front of me, but just because I was like extubated and my colon was removed doesn't mean that I was better. I was actually kind of worse, which was heartbreaking for me because I thought I'd get surgery and I'd get better and then I could finally go home. But I wasn't getting better. Things just got worse because of how bad my colon was.
Yeah, I think just the trauma of, finding out what happened and, knowing how our life was going to change moving forward after August and September of last year was, very difficult for us to come to terms with. But, I was just so thankful that, we were in that together and she had me and I had her and we both had this amazing support system and family.
So I finally went home on October 6th and it was really dark in the beginning. Like I had days where I just I woke up and pretty early on when I was still really weak and I would know if it was gonna be a bad day or not. And I didn't want to feel that way. Like I remember not wanting to tell my husband or my mom that I was feeling this heartbreak because I already saw them like feeling that for me, and I just felt like I had put them through so much already. I didn't want to keep like burdening them. But I managed to just, start learning more about like the ostomy life, and I started finding some people on social media that were like really open about it, like young girls like me, and I was just like shocked. Like there was this huge ostomy community of thousands of people, like of all age groups that like have ostomies, and that was something I needed to see like really early on. I remember like telling my husband like I want to start like getting involved in like doing things, and it had been like not even 2 months post-op, and he was like, oh my gosh, like this is so great.
We're now super involved in the Crohns and Colitis Foundation. We're doing Take Steps Walk. We volunteered at Camp Oasis. I think those things have brought us a lot of joy and fulfillment, and I just think it's cool that we've been able to sort of turn this from a terrible experience into something a little more positive.
My experience with Camp Oasis, I was able to make my first ostomy friend. We were able to room together at Camp Oasis. We literally stayed up at night like bonding and like talking about like our ostomies and like how things are different for us, and like, what was it like the first time you did this, or how do you do this? Like it was like girl talk, but in a completely different way.
The Camp Oasis experience for me was awesome. I took a lot away from that experience. We had kids from 7 years old to 17 years old all rotated through my archery and fishing stations, and so I got to teach them how to shoot bows and arrows, fish, teach them about what kind of fish we had there. Almost brought me to tears just seeing how Camp Oasis was able to give these kids an experience, even if it's just for a week over summer, that they feel normal and together with, other kids who are going through the same thing as them.
As much as like I have all the love and support I could need through like my family, like they will never know what it's like to like live with an ostomy, and to be able to like find a friend and connect on that and be able to like joke about it. Like we were like, we don't like laugh our butts off anymore. We're like, what if we laugh our bag off? Like just getting to create those bonds. Camp Oasis like really gave me like friendships that I really cherish, and like now have people that I can go to and talk to if I like have concerns. It just like was a really amazing opportunity to be able to connect with people who understand what it's like.
The Crohns and Colitis Foundation is very important to us and our family because it raises so much awareness. It brings just so much hope and so much helpfulness to people suffering through this that would otherwise, I feel, be alone if they did not have other members in the community to learn from and to communicate with. And I'm hoping that the monies that are raised can help find out why this happens, or maybe who's at risk, and to keep other people from going through the things that my daughter, I wish, would have never had to go through.
I think this was like a very like life-changing situation for me. Like I will just like never be the same person, like physically, mentally, emotionally. Like it just changed like my whole outlook on life, and I just think like the love and support I have around me is like able to keep me like positive and like keep going.
Almost a year after, seeing how she's just grown as a person and really tackled this experience head on. We're planning trips to Europe. We just recently bought a house. She's going all over the place. She's back to work as a, registered nurse. I would just, say to Shaylee that I love you so much, and I'm just so proud of you and how you've handled this whole situation. I can't wait to live the rest of our lives together.